Hello everyone, Wicked Gaming back again, and DarkStar Total Game Overhaul should be live right now on your Creation Store. But before you race off to go and download it, let's talk very briefly about my recommended gameplay load order suite of mods. Now, some of these will require that you pay. That is up to you whether you do that or not. But if you are looking for creations to buy now, or creations that you might already own, or creations that you could save up for to give yourself a supreme gameplay experience in Starfield, this is my list. Let's talk about this just a bit. So, the Shattered Space expansion, I know, did not get the best reviews by the general public. I personally found it very entertaining, and more importantly, when you run the DarkStar mod with the DarkStar Shattered Space patch, it is turned into quite a thing. It is quite a challenge compared to the rest of the game. It is some of the hardest gameplay available in Starfield. So I highly recommend that if you are capable of getting it and are interested in trying it, go ahead and grab the Shattered Space DLC in addition to DarkStar, and get the DarkStar Shattered Space patch, which is also available on Creations right now. The combination will give you some of the most challenging combat scenarios in the entire game and reward you with some of the best weapons and armor in the entire game. Next up would be everybody on my Discord's favorite quest mod, at Hell's Gate. It's just superb. It's short-lived, sure. There's one quest, and you can choose to do it in every universe. But with the DarkStar at Hell's Gate patch by the Angry Mechanic, listed at the bottom of the load order there, you only have to do the quest once, and then you can take the items you earn through that questing, do research, consuming them, and then you learn how to craft them in every universe from that point on. So it kind of takes that aspect of it and makes it permanent, and then of course you can still go and experience the quest line at any point. Dark Universe Overtime. We were asked, me and my testing team, to verify that this worked with DarkStar, and not only does it work alongside DarkStar as long as it's in the proper load order, but it is brilliant alongside DarkStar. So, highly recommended. Adds a ton of new bounties to the game, and it just seems to constantly keep you crawling from point of interest to point of interest in this seemingly never-ending chain of things to do. It's great. Bedlam Dungeon Randomizer, free mod from AGD25.
Hey, you need something?
This is a big hit on DarkStar Discord. It basically just causes more additional spawns to happen when you are at POIs around the game. I don't necessarily recommend cranking it to the max. It has gameplay settings. Keep it around vanilla, basically, as it comes out of the box, or dial it up just slightly and you'll have the best experience. If you turn it up too high, you can overwhelm the game engine with too many characters in the area at once, and when that happens, you'll see their artificial intelligence will shut down and they'll just stand around and do nothing.
Where are we going?
So if you see that happening, dial it back a bit and you'll be good. But highly recommended. Starborn Among Us by Exo Warlock. This is, dealer's choice. It basically turns random NPCs at different POI combat scenarios into Starborn. If you like fighting Starborn, if you like collecting quantum harnesses or quantum essences, things of that nature, this is very valuable mod to have in your load order. The more you dial this up, the more dangerous your games gets. So it's up to you whether or not you run it, but all of my testers did eventually run Bedlam. So Dark Universe Overtime, Bedlam, Starborn Among Us, and the next one, Forgotten Frontiers, all at the same time while testing the more extreme settings of DarkStar. So Forgotten Frontiers basically adds new POI across the universe into the POI pool. It is absolutely amazing. The combination of mods here just adds hundreds of hours of gameplay, if I'm being honest. And then Lazarus Awakens, probably should have been part of the vanilla Vanguard questline. But Minion Squisher came along and gave us Lazarus Awakens as the proper ending to the Vanguard questline. Highly recommended. TG's Galactic Harvest by Tank Girl. First of all, amazing modder, does great work, and this should be available today or very soon. If it's not available in the Creation store yet, I highly recommend you keep an eye on it. It's basically the same level of impact that DarkStar has on points of interest in human enemy combat and just alien creature combat. It has that same level of impact on gathering things from alien creatures, crafting and research and pharmaceuticals and cooking, and it's by the time you get to this point in the list, of course I'm going to tell you buy DarkStar because that's the point of this video. But if you run all of these mods with the 2 patches at the bottom, we've had testers run this combination, and what ends up happening is you get sent to a world by the dark universe overtime. You land there, next thing you know, you're POI crawling across that planet, your creature crawling across that planet and hunting everything, scanning everything, collecting DNA samples from alien this and alien that, going into the POI to hunt down that last legendary that you need to complete your research, collecting equipment that you can take back to a codex machine and pull parts off of. It's just, next thing you know, you've lost 6-7 hours and you haven't even left that one planet. It's great, and all of it's challenging content. Of course, you can dial the difficulty up and down with your game settings, but for those of us that have been around a long time, this is a great way to add a challenge back to Starfield. It's night and day different. Several people on Discord have been calling this Starfield 2.0. So, without wasting any more of your time, get as many of these mods as you are comfortable getting. If you can get them all, put them in this load order. Of course, you can squeeze other mods in there for ship parts and for weapons and armor. I highly recommend Bub's series of weapons and the patches produced for them by Angry Mechanic. There's several of Zone's outfits have been patched into DarkStar already by me, and I think Angry Mechanic is going to do 1 or 2, and Manic Polymath is doing a couple more, and there's lots of stuff like that. There's Falkland ship systems if you need better ship pads, better ship cockpits. There's a patch for that integrates it with DarkStar. There are always the stem habs and other mods from Angry Mechanic to help take your shipbuilding and hab usage even further. If you want to be able to build a hab on your ship that has all of your DarkStar crafting consoles, I highly recommend stem habs for that. It has the cleanest interior space for building that kind of thing. But without wasting any more of your time, even more, go and grab the mods that you can, pick up your DarkStar today, and completely change your gameplay from here on out for the better. Catch you guys later. Peace.